Hello, everyone. Big Dog Sports, where sports meet politics. Boyd MD. And yes, it is time for football. Usually, football season always starts off with the Hall of Fame. There's four members to this class this year, a very small class, right? And we're going to get into the members, the newest members of pro football. We're going to get into one by so first. We're going to start off with Eric Allen, who, in my opinion, I had to think about Eric. And for me, if I got to think about him being a Hall of Famer, then probably not a Hall of Famer, but he got in. So we're going to get to Eric Allen. He played 1, 2, 3, 12 years. Eric Allen. He amassed 54 interceptions, went to 6 Pro Bowls, made 1 first team All Pro, 2 second team Pros. He did the majority of his work on the Philadelphia Eagles, but he did play for 2 other teams. Was he a good? Now I watched Eric Allen. He played late 80s, 90s basically. Was he a good corner? Yes. Borderline great corner. Borderline. Was he a lockdown corner? Not really. But he was definitely well above average, good, like borderline great. Eric Allen. He was okay, in my opinion. I don't really think he's a Hall of Famer, and he's the only one that I really have questions about is Eric Allen. But the way the process is nowadays, you're starting to get borderline folks getting in. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm not. Is he deserving? Yeah, he's deserving. But I still had to question it. In my opinion, if I got to think about you being a Hall of Famer, you're probably not a Hall of Famer. But he's in there, and congratulations to him. Now, the other 3 people, in my opinion, were no-brainers, right? Antonio Gates played 15 years, 3 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros, 8 Pro Bowls. Man caught 955 passes for 11,841 yards and caught 116 touchdowns. Antonio Gates played his entire career for the San Diego Chargers, and 116 touchdown receptions for a tight end is phenomenal. Antonio Gates, in my opinion, no-brainer. Now we have Jared Allen, another no-brainer. Played 12 years, made 5 Pro Bowls, 4-time first-team All-Pro. Has the NFL record for most safeties by a player, 4. And he amassed 136 sacks. That's Hall of Fame numbers. I don't have a problem with Jared Allen. He was a dominant defensive end and a game changer. No problems here with me when it comes to Jared Allen. I think he's more than deserving, and he should definitely be in. And now the senior guy, Sterling Sharpe. Sterling Sharpe. If Sterling Sharpe didn't get hurt, he would be up there. We would be talking about Sterling Sharpe in the same way we talk about Jerry Rice, and he had a neck injury that shortened his career. Now he's only the 5th guy in NFL history to play 8 years or less to make it to the Hall of Fame. He played 7 years, but in his 7 years, he made 3 first-team All-Pros, 5 Pro Bowls, led the league in receptions 3 times, the first guy to catch 100 balls in back-to-back years. And for his career, he caught 595 passes for 8,134 yards and 65 touchdowns. Sterling Sharp was a dominant wide receiver, and he dominated all 7 years that he played. He was on par with Jerry Rice when he was playing. And I think Sterling Sharp was long overdue. And I think he's very well deserving to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, this is a very short, small class of Hall of Famers. I think the NFL is trying to, Deion Sanders made a comment a couple of years ago, about how there should be an upper room for Hall of Famers, because he was kind of bothered how certain players, borderline players, were getting in. And his argument was, his argument is essentially my argument. If I got to think about you being a Hall of Famer, then you're probably not a Hall of Famer, right? Now, I don't have a problem with 3 of these guys. My issues with Eric Allen, right? He's borderline. But you know what? Next year, you're going to have a bunch of borderline guys that might get in as well, like Eli Manning, right? People are going to say, well, Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. And my argument to them is this. If you feel like Tom Brady's the GOAT quarterback, then Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. The man played in 230-something consecutive games, and he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So that's that, right? And there are other players that I think belong that haven't had their name called yet. Let's see. Carl Banks. I think Carl Banks is a Hall of Famer. He just had the misfortune to play opposite of Lawrence Taylor. But Carl Banks was a beast, and Carl Banks played when it mattered. Like, Carl Banks got right in the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl. Like, both Super Bowls Carl Banks played in, Carl Banks performed at a very high level. I also have a soft spot for Daryl Johnson. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy hater, right? But Daryl Johnson, in my opinion, is a Hall of Famer too, because that offense don't run without Daryl Johnson. Now, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, they get all the accolades and they have all the shine. But Daryl Johnson, the Moose, he was the linchpin for that offense. And that offense isn't the same if Daryl Johnson isn't there. Just my personal opinion. Another person that I think that they shamming right now, Steve Tasker. Steve Tasker fought by far and away the greatest special teams player ever to play in the National Football. Far and away. Not even close. But they're shamming him because he's a special teams player, right? Even though he was really a wide receiver, but he made his bones on special teams. And, the NFL, they're not good when it comes to electing special teams players. Like last year, Adam Vinatieri is the GOAT kicker, period. Point blank. And if you the GOAT at your position, you're supposed to get in the Hall of Fame on your first try. Now, the fact that Vinatieri didn't get in on his first try, to me, was blasphemous and insulting. The man is the GOAT at his position. Just because you a field goal kicker don't make you any less of a football player. And when you're the GOAT of your position and you don't get in first ballot, I think that they did Adam Vinatieri like off. And he's gonna get in there. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely gonna get in, but I think he should have got in last year on his first try. So we're gonna see the Hall of Fame shows today come on tonight. I'll be watching it to see everybody get inducted. Well, and everybody, y'all can leave your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what you think. And I'm out of here. Peace, y'all.